wife, but I'm getting used to it. I'm getting used to it. It's tough. He does it on Popcorn and Pints too, quite often.
Happy anniversary, James and his wife.
Yes, happy anniversary to James and Christina.
Love it.
He shows where his loyalty lies.
Well,
I can't be
should.
mad at him. I can't be mad at him. I get exactly where he's coming from, but I'm still gonna bust his balls
So,
every single time.
so your co-pilot is gone for the night, and you're stuck with me.
Now listen, you say stuck, I say I can't. I'm high. I can't think of another word right now. Something
It
great.
ain't gonna get any better with me, pal.
Something great. That's all I'm going to say. Something great. It's gonna be a great time, like it always is. It's gonna be lots of laughs, random conversations, all that shit. That's what happens at Horror with Sir.STURDY. That's why I love it.
Me too. It's one of my favorite shows.
This is a first time watch for me, I think.
Really?
Yeah. And my wife was pointing out, she's like, I'm surprised that this is your first time watching this, especially around this time when like everybody that was popular was in this damn movie. But yeah, this is my first time seeing this.
And this is a Wes Craven movie too.
Yeah. Yep, I seen that too. I was like, oh wow, Wes Craven. But
this thing got butchered, unfortunately.
I'll say this: it wasn't horrible, but it could have been a hell of a lot better. It felt more like a more like a romantic drama that did a werewolf movie, which bothered me a lot.
There's too much oversight,
too much stupid shit that we don't care about.
Yeah.
Like it's have more. Even if you have it in the background, just having random kills of a werewolf and you don't know who it is until the end. And then maybe you even find out later on the brother and sister were changed into werewolves without their knowledge and they killed a couple people because it came back to their memory, whenever.
Well, this movie was supposed to look different, be different. It was like it all got screwed up by the production company kind of like stepping in and having their hands in it too much. It was like 2.5 years of just like dragging. Like it had a different cast at different points.
Damn.
He was going to bring like all these different people in for it, and it kind of went all over the place.
I wonder how good it would have been if it was done the way it was supposed to be done with its potential.
I know a lot of people are excited to work on it because of what it was supposed to be.
That says a lot, but at the same time, for those times, like back in what was this 04, 05, maybe 06, it's a different type of movie nowadays. Like this movie wouldn't. This would be better to come on either streaming or like a TV, just a made for TV movie. The way that this movie was, in my opinion.
Yeah.
It wasn't too. I mean, they had gore in it, but I feel like it wasn't too much to where you couldn't put it on sci-fi.
Mm-hmm.
Or, again, if you had to throw it on, I'm not calling it Max. I'm calling it HBO Max. So I do not care. That's just one thing I won't. I'm fine with everything else, but it just doesn't make sense to call it Max. The name HBO Max makes more sense because it maximized by getting Discovery. Now you call it HBO Max or HBO Max Plus.
It's so stupid. Everything they've done with it. And now they're keeping Discovery separate.
Oh my gosh.
So they just called it Max. Like, the argument is all over the place, and I agree with it wholeheartedly, is that HBO has always been known as a brand that makes quality.
Mm-hmm.
And you agree. Like it does. It makes a lot of quality. It makes some great TV shows, and it even produces some good movies, documentaries especially. And now they took the HBO. For some reason, they think that the HBO was the problem. That wasn't the problem, Warner Brothers. It was you. So
HBO was the draw. Like that's something we know. That's nostalgia to us. You just took that from us.
Yep. Oh yeah.
Like that's been around. I don't know when it started, but as far as I can remember, I didn't always have it, of course, but finally have it, and I got it taken away from me.
I know, right?
Ain't that something?
It's so stupid. It really is just ridiculous.
Blockbuster, come back. Hollywood Video, come back.
They wish.
We made a mistake.
I wish too.
we made a mistake because you guys actually did care about us.
Yeah.
Streaming services don't. And the reason why I know this is because there'll be times you can go to those little places, especially if you're a regular there. Hey, you guys getting such and such movie? They'll make sure they have it for you. I'll just say it
They'll
like that.
find it.
They'll make sure they find it for you. When you're
Oh,
them
yeah.
regulars going there every Friday and returning the movie and rewinding it, you gotta be kind to rewind. I'll bring it back. Even if it's just the DVDs, I'll accept that. DVDs and Blu-rays, I'll accept it. But I just want to go back to renting like that. I miss it.
I
I feel
know.
like
I'm
you, I
rentals.
feel like you spend we spend so much money on these streaming platforms that the physical media. Yes, it takes up space. Yes, it's old, but it's there. Like as
Mhm.
soon as whenever the licensing is done with these, peace. I don't know
Yeah.
how that works. So if you buy the movie, if you purchase the movie, like you can purchase a movie on Amazon Prime or whatever, is it still like in your folder or cloud, or do they snatch that from you?
They can. I mean, I've purchased stuff off of certain streaming services in the past that have gone away, and once they go away, they're
Oh,
gone. So, I mean, it really depends on like what's going to go away, what's not going to go away.
I guess we gotta start downloading them, making
Yeah.
it physical media. At the end of the day,
Yep.
ain't that some shit?
It really is. It's ridiculous, but
I mean, I do get it because it's easier. It's way easier for me to come over to your house, punch into my shutter if you don't have it. Hey, Mick, let's watch this movie.
yeah,
But still, come on, we could do better. At least get the licensings longer, guys, so we can watch these movies whenever the hell we want, just like we own them. Make us feel good about something,
yeah,
please. But back to this though. Yeah, this is the first time I've seen this movie, and it was okay. It was okay. I was hoping it would be darker. I was hoping it would be more, like I said earlier, a lot more werewolf than what it
yeah,
was, and it was just. I should have known better by the cast that was in it and thinking of the times and like what type of movies were out. And it was like this type of movie, like those, like I said, those teeny bopper dramas. They just threw a werewolf in it. And that's what this movie was. This was a teeny bopper drama. They came out in the early 2000s that were so popular. You get all the popular or most attractive people for those times, or whatever the case is, and then you throw them in some sort of romantic comedy sort of thing, and then boom, let's just add a werewolf and kind of just make the story a little darker than what the normal stories would be, but still not too dark to where it really feels like a real horror movie.
And this was like the end of that time too.
Mm, you're right. Yeah, like a
So it's
transition, maybe you would say.
yeah, I think we started seeing more and more in a different way. Like we started seeing more found footage come out. Paranormal Activity was only a couple of years after this.
It's true.
Like maybe a year or two. House of a Thousand Corpses was a year before this, so like that went a much more violent route, which started sparking more violent movies.
Yeah,
It was just different cultures starting to come in.
that's true. That's true.
So and remakes started becoming a little more popular.
That. What is your take on remakes?
If they're good, I'm okay with it.
Okay. See,
When it's
when the
hard sometimes, they're not always good.
that's true. That is true. I'm basically the same. Like I'm not mad if they make it. If it sucks, I just won't watch it. I'll talk shit about it, especially from reviewing it. But
Yeah.
I won't watch it again. And I can always go back to the original. That's something I think some of us fans forget at times. Like you can always go. It doesn't ruin your childhood. It doesn't take away the nostalgia. Because you can either not watch it or just watch it once. Boom.
Yeah.
Because we've all watched some terrible shit. I know I did.
That's very true.
And it wasn't remakes. Thank God. Like, oh, you did this shit twice? Fuck, man. Fuck. Now, you said this is not your first time watching this one, right?
No, actually, I don't hate this movie. I like this movie. I will watch this. I watched it. It was on TV not too long ago, and I
Okay.
watched it.
See,
So I'm kind of unapologetic about it.
okay, what would you rate it?
I mean, I know what it is, so I'd probably, for me, being able to watch it over and over again, knowing what it is, like I'd give it a 5 personally.
Okay.
But That's middle of the road for me.
Yeah, I'm at the same rating. I just wouldn't come back. I mean, if it was on TV, maybe for background noise, maybe,
Mm-hmm.
but I wouldn't go back to it unless someone wanted to watch it. I guess, which I just watch it with the wife. So
There's still some fun jokes to it. You
yeah.
know, some fun kills and things like that. So like I can jump into it. Like it's not a great movie, but like we're lacking in the werewolf department, in my opinion.
hmm
So something like this helps, I think.
I remember I typed down a line that sounded creepy when the one dude was a werewolf and he's talking to Christina Ricci's character and he's like, "You can feel the change, can't you?" I'm just like, that sounds a little weird to be just. It sounds weird because you're saying it to a female, and I'm like, what change are you talking about exactly, sir? Like, what do you mean by that? Werewolf, woman? Come on, you gotta. I didn't like that question.
Well, you should check out Ginger Snaps then.
That was a good movie though.
Yeah, well, no, it was. Oh, well, it's a
That
much
was
better
awesome.
werewolf movie.
And here's something funny. So me and James, this was like a month ago, right? On here high as shit. I'm talking to him like, yo, James, you know what I just realized? What Ginger Snaps mean is the title, and I started explaining it. He started shaking his head. He's like, really? He's like, it took you that long to figure this. He's like, we reviewed that movie like last year.
Yeah.
It just hit you now that it happens, man. And we weren't even. I think it was another werewolf. It wasn't Ginger Snaps, obviously, but it was another werewolf movie. And I was like, oh shit, that's why they call it Ginger Snaps. Yeah, man. That's. And if you haven't seen that movie, I recommend. I actually say go watch the trilogy. It's a fun trilogy. The first two are definitely better than the third, but worth watching all three.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Ginger Snaps, but this was again this was kind of like I got it. MTV. This is the movie that would have came out on MTV back in the day. This is definitely a made for MTV movie. They just needed some more corny music in it. Boom, MTV written all over it.
It was, yeah. I mean, it was one of those things. But that's the thing. Like, it turned into that. Like there were
That's
so
true.
many different versions of the script, and it was supposed to be a huge film for the Weinsteins at the time. You know, with Wes Craven
Mhm.
and Kevin Williamson writing it, and like at one point, I think it was supposed to take place in New York City, and it was supposed to be about werewolves, like, you know, living amongst New York City. Then another one was supposed to be about three strangers who get into a car accident and then get bit by werewolf. All three of them. So then they're dealing with,
Mm.
you know, so like there were so many instances, and then it's just like it kept getting pulled, and it kept all the oversight of like, well, we need this, let's shove it in their faces, let's keep doing this, and it turned into this thing that was just,
Yeah.
it didn't work.
No, not the way they wanted it to. And it sounds like all those other scripts sounded a lot better than this one.
No.
And less is more at times, people. That's true. Less is more. They try to throw way too much shit in there. Way too many storylines. Like damn near everybody in this movie had a storyline that was a werewolf. I'm like, we don't need everybody's backstory. We don't need everybody's story. We don't care. Let's give the brother, the sister, and the boyfriend a little bit, I guess, and that's it. I don't care about everybody else.
Yeah, they get a little convoluted because but I feel like it came off the heels, like after Sixth Sense came out. I feel
Mhm.
like every thriller and horror movie, especially, but almost every movie tried to do it, but just thrillers and horror movies, especially, were really trying to do twist endings.
That's true.
And it just, very rarely ever landed. They didn't even land for M. Night Shyamalan after that. So, like,
Did that start with Scream? Is that what really amped it up around
I
those
would say
times?
more Sixth Sense. Like, Scream was a good one because Scream was like this whodunit. It was different.
Okay.
It was out there. Like, you really know where it was going to go. And then the second one was sort of the same. Then the third one was out there, and so like Scream does a good job. By, you know, not so much anymore in my opinion, but like
Well, I
in the
mean, if
beginning,
you just go with the original though, and then
yeah. But like I would say if you're gonna go twist ending, it would be What really started that drive was Sixth Sense,
Mm-hmm.
because it was such a huge, massive thing.
Yeah.
And people were so thrown off. Studios were like, let's replicate this any way we can.
Yeah, some knock it out the park, and some like you should have just did something completely. You should have worked to your strengths. Don't
Yeah.
stop copying everybody.
And I would even argue that nobody did it right after Sixth Sense.
Sixth
Sixth
Sense.
Sense, I would even argue, was a fluke.
A fluke.
Like it was a good movie and it was a good twist,
Mm-hmm.
but it was a fluke on how well that did.
Yeah.
You know, like you're not going to see. You may see that again in another 20 years, and it's
Maybe
going to
longer
be
than that.
something special.
Maybe even longer than that. Maybe way after our lifetimes. Maybe hundreds of years from now, and someone finally seriously, because something that's that creative. I'm not a big fan of the movie, but I can admit how creative and how well done it is. I got to go back and watch it. I haven't seen it in a long time, but stuff like that that's like that creative to where it still lasts X amount of years. I'm like those things are hard to beat.
Mm-hmm.
Those things are hard to beat, and movies like that are hard to beat. It makes me think of a show I was watching, Good Mythical Morning, not a sponsor but can be, or at least get me on your show, guys. um they're doing like decades, or like not decades, what's it, decades, no, what is the millennial things, whatever the hell you call those, millennial, Gen Z, all that shit, whatever that title is for that. They're doing those and doing the best chocolate candies from that thingy, and the best ones was Reese's and Snickers. I forgot what years it came out, but again, Reese's is a hard fucking candy to beat, a hard chocolate candy to beat, and that was made in like the 40s,
Yeah.
and it's still around and still popular. That's all I'm saying. People work hard. You can do it.
Well, Reese's Pieces were like a huge failure until ET came out.
Ain't that something? That's
Yeah.
great freaking marketing. Reese's Pieces,
Well,
like, listen, go ahead and put this candy in the movie. Help us.
M&M's didn't want to be in the movie.
Mm.
So they went to Reese's Pieces, and Reese's Pieces was like, yeah, nobody wants to eat us.
You know
And
what?
now,
Oh, go ahead.
now look at them.
Yeah,
You know?
I still think M&Ms are bigger,
Mm-hmm.
but
Oh yeah. But I mean, Reese's are on the board though.
yes, Reese's Pieces are definitely on the board. And if it wasn't for those peanut butter cups, Reese's Pieces would probably be even more popular. But those peanut butter cups, like it's like I'm gonna get the peanut butter cups over the Reese's Pieces.
Oh yeah.
These things are just gonna pick. I mean, they're good, but they're gonna make me mad because I had the Reese's in my hand and I set it down for this shit. Like fuck. Imagine I've done that before. I regret it.
There.
I regret it. I wish this again. Going back to this, I wish this movie was a lot just darker, and take away, not even all of it, but take away a good chunk of the lovey-dovey nonsense out of it. Let's just get one, let's get the siblings story, and that's all we need. And like what they're dealing with and going through, we don't need the outsides too much. Like with the one the one jock that was bullying him,
Mm-hmm.
that story. I mean, cool, the guy came out. That's cool and all, but it's like, what was the point of all of that? Show bullying him and calling, you know what I mean, and calling him what he was calling him, just to end up coming out at the end of the month. Like that was such a weird. Looking back, it's like such a weird era for that. I'm like, because what for what?
It was one of those things. Like they just, that was such a trope
It was.
because it was like one of those things where it was like, we need to make the bullies, like if we want to bring them around, let's make them gay.
Yeah.
And that's why they're so angry. And it's like, and it was such a trope that like either homosexuals were very flamboyant and and I'm talking about back in this era,
Yeah.
And earlier,
Earlier 2000s.
How they were portrayed.
Yeah.
They were very flamboyant, or even like portrayed as perverted.
Yeah.
Or over sexualized, things like that.
And weak, like always weak. I'm like,
Always weak. Or the bully or the bad guy who is clearly hiding a secret. Yeah. And that's the secret. And it was always used, and it was just used too much, and it was used. It's a weak writing tool. It was a weak way to do things. Like Weirdly enough, now I think with mental health becoming as open as it is, and being able to talk about it as much as we can, it's become more accurate, these tropes.
Yeah, which makes them funnier in movies and stuff.
Can.
Because the reason why I say it is because and I mean more so when it's the funniness of it, of course. But when I see
Mhm.
black stuff on TV and you see it, and you're like, oh yeah, damn, yeah, that's accurate. Like, there's what's that movie coming out? Blackness or something that's coming. Some horror comedy is coming out. I cannot wait to see it. It's coming out
Oh, the
June 16th.
blackening.
The Blackening. Yes, that.
Mhm.
I'm excited to see that. I'm
It
just gonna.
looks funny, and the thing I like about that is it's so satire. It's so turning every
Stereotype, so to speak.
systematic
Yep.
racist trope that has been in horror movies for so long on its head. I'm anxious to see how it
And just
plays
make
out.
it's making it fun and make like how I've been doing for years.
Yeah.
Tell you guys, listen, any of these situations, don't look for the black guy to save you because we're all running, all of us.
But now in this movie they can't because everyone is black, and had when every character is black and
Yeah, it's you got to stick together.
you're playing these tropes,
Hmm.
and they're so aware of these tropes. The trailer plays it perfectly.
Oh
Like
yes, it
it's
does.
so like timed perfectly. It looks funny as hell.
Oh, it looks hilarious. I cannot wait. Oh my gosh! Like I know I'm
Yeah,
going to see that at least once. I'm definitely reviewing that movie, and I can't wait to see it because that I'm hoping that is as exciting as Cocaine Bear was for me. All but it's that funny because
I hope so too. I
I
think it
went to
will.
go see that movie twice, and yes, the theater I go to is cheap, but so what? I still want to spend money on the same movie twice, and had just as much fun both times, laughing my fucking ass off. So I'm hoping this movie does that. Which is
I think the biggest thing is, and I've said it on shows before, especially talking horror, and especially when talking horror comedy, is like if you make a horror comedy, the horror has to be real. You cannot make fun of the horror. You can make fun of everything else about it,
like the
but you
tropes and all
cannot
that.
make fun
Yeah,
of the horror.
yeah, I see what you're saying.
Because that was always like the big thing, like the Abbott and Costellos and stuff like that. And like they even talked about it in Shaun of the Dead. They were like, that the important thing was like we could make all these jokes, but the threat was real. The zombies were real.
Hmm.
So like as we're having all of these laughs and we're making you laugh by all these asinine things, we're the joke.
Yeah,
The threat's real. And it's the same like you go back and you watch Abbott and Costello meet Frankenstein. Like all the Universal monsters are real and they're dangerous. But these two buffoons are funny as hell, because they're handling exactly the way they would handle it. And I think if it's handled that way, where there's real dire consequences, they got to play this game or they're going to die, and
yep.
they start dying. But they realize like, oh man, we got to play this game right, and we don't want to do that because we know better. We've watched these movies, like we
Mhm.
know this is a stupid way to do things.
And
That's where it would be funny.
I just, oh man, I feel like they're gonna do it right though. I really, 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 really do. I really feel like they're gonna do it right, do it justice with the comedy,
Yeah.
and I'm hoping that they had black writers for this movie,
Mhm.
and or at least spoke and just to get those stereotypes really out there and really funny, so it doesn't look like somebody's just you're being studied. Like, okay, I have black friends, so I know all the stereotypes. It's like, no, actually have, and I don't even care if it's the ghettos people bring them in there because the the ghettoer, the funnier. And that goes with every single race. With the ghettoer, the funnier. They're just like, what the,
Yeah.
especially when they're embarrassed. I mean, embarrassingly ghetto in real life, not funny at all. That's just like, what the fuck. Movies, hilarious. Same thing with drama, hilarious. Real life, no.
Well, Tim Story is the director, and Tim Story is a black man. He's done a lot of movies.
Perfect,
He's a good director, so
perfect.
I'm looking forward to it. See what he does.
Even more so.
So, um, but Cursed, yeah. I mean, I tell people check it out. See for yourself. it's an acquired taste, but like if you can look back at these movies, like it's not The Faculty, you
No,
know, it's not I Know What You Did Last Summer, but it is. It's also not like the worst of the worst of that time frame
no,
either.
it's not. They're all. I mean, honestly, like those movies, they're all around that 5 range. Honestly, like looking
Mm.
back, it's just I Know What You Did Last Summer is more of a more popular name, a bigger name. Probably because the way it ended, I'm assuming. I don't know. Well, you know, the guy with the hook and all that other shit. I haven't seen it in years. I gotta go back and watch it. But they came out at the right time for sure. Because it was like once one did it, okay, let's all 47 of us do it, and let's just see what's let's see what sticks around this summer and all.
Yeah.
You know, because you don't
Yep.
really hear these movies mentioned too much. Like I Know What You Did Last Summer, Cursed.
Yep.
You do hear Scream a lot. What was the other movie that came
They
out?
keep making movies about Scream.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. They're. I mean, shit. If we're gonna keep paying to see it, I guess keep doing it. I
Oh, I
guess.
agree.
But it's eventually gonna slow down. I feel. I'm gonna go see the next one. No, I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I am gonna go see it. I don't like the franchise, but I've seen the first 6. I'm a completionist.
Yeah, I get that.
You can't just I can't give up. And I'm even going to. I was saying actually because I said it on the live. For that, I'm gonna go through and watch the first 6 before I go to watch 7 when it's time for 7 to come out, just so I have a refresher. Because I mean, I know the franchise, the basics of it, but I don't know that franchise that well because I've watched it through maybe 3 times in my life, and
Mm.
that's a lot.
Yeah,
That's a lot for that movie. But it was like every time a new one came out, or every couple of years a new one came out, I had to go through them. So
I get that.
I'm gonna do it again.
I watch them ever so often. I watch that franchise.
But I'm gonna pull this wheel up to see what's going on next week on Horowitz or Sturdy.
Ooh.
Tuesday and Thursday. Where's that shuffle at? There it is.
So you got
Yes, yes. This is the wheel that picks the wheels. It's like the subgenres, so to speak,
like
or
it.
not subgenres, different whatever subgenres to an extent. Oh, is it gonna be the crazy woman again? Oh,
Oh, oh, oh.
it's scary. I don't remember what this is.
Let's get scary.
Yeah, I have no clues. I don't remember what's on this. I don't remember what genre is on, subgenre of horror is on this. All right, so let's see what
Give
we
me
can.
2 seconds while you do this. I'm just gonna run to the bathroom real quick.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Go ahead. You're good. Deborah. Forgot to put the titles over here. It's all good though. Wow, it was almost that damn Deborah movie though. Channel Zero, The Dream Door. Channel Zero, The Dream Door. Never heard of that shit. Ever in my life. All right, that shuffle again. See what's going on for Thursday. I can't believe I forgot to put the damn titles of this. That's how I usually copy and paste. Mm-hmm. Sturdy, sturdy, sturdy. Where is that? Nori the Curse. I think that's what it says. Nori, Nor something. Wait for this to go back so I can save it. I haven't seen either one of those movies. I don't even know if I heard of those movies before. What I do now is just random picks, throw them on the wheel, and yeah. But 1 sec, it's fucking hot up here. Those watching, have any of you guys ever seen Curse before? This movie me and Mick are discussing. And what's your favorite werewolf movie? Let me know down in the comments. Or sip some more water because again, it's hot up here. All right. While we wait for my main man Mick. Cursed. But I don't really know what else to say about it besides check it out. I would say. Um, Again, it's not the best werewolf portrayal, not even close, but it's definitely not the worst. Not even close to the worst, honestly. It's like above average, above average, maybe even average. So about the middle. I said it was. I gave it a 5, but again, my ratings go from a -10 to a +10, so that's kind of high, but kind of not. I don't know. Depends on how you look at it. Mick also gave it a 5, but his is 1 to 10. And again, I probably wouldn't watch this movie again. Maybe background noise, and that's a maybe because I'll probably just throw YouTube on like I always do. But I do feel like it's worth. Oh shit! It is worth a one-time watch. It is at least worth a one-time watch, and that's the best I can say about it. Honestly, I'm not even gonna lie to you guys. Like that's the best I can really say about it.
Good.
There he is.
Sorry about that.
Hey man, you gotta go. You gotta go.
Yeah, no, I had to run upstairs. So now I figured I'd stand up
Oh,
because I'm back in. So, what movie did you get?
I'll show you in 2 seconds. I'm about to pull them up on screen.
Yeah, you are. I do agree with you, though. I think everybody should at least check this movie out, especially werewolf movie.
It's definitely worth a one-time watch. It's not horrible. Again, like I said, I've seen better, but I've also seen a lot worse.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a good one-time watch. And if you're around our age, I'll say 30 and up. If you're 30 and up, this is an MTV era movie. That's exactly what this is. That's what you're gonna get from it.
No.
And if you know the era, you know what to expect from this. And you can't get too mad because you watch it on your own. Because you watch it with our warning. But here's the first movie, Mick. Channel Zero, The Dream Door.
Oh, it's funny. It's so funny that you picked that one out because two of the people that were at Carolina Fear Fest this past weekend that I actually got a chance to sit down with were in that. Barbara Crampton and Troy James.
Awesome.
So
that's
very cool.
Awesome. Speaking of Barbara Crampton, listen to this. She liked one of my tweets, and that's a dope thing. From when I did the Chocolate Mall review from last Saturday.
Yes, she did. You know why?
Because she's awesome.
Yes,
awesome.
she is. But you can thank Radar for that.
I will.
Radar tried so hard to get her to do a video. Unfortunately, she couldn't do one because of just like the agreement that she had.
Understandable.
He was so hard trying to get her to do a thank you for watching Chopping Mall for first time sturdy video.
Oh my gosh. Shout out to Radar. That's dope. I appreciate that.
So she at least wanted to go by and like it.
Hey, that counts.
Yeah. 100% counts. She knew who you were. She went out. She actively went out and did it. But I will give it to Radar for going out there to try and do it.
Well, huge shout out to Radar. Greatly appreciate the love.
Oh.
And then
here's Nation pulls in.
Yes, they do. Nori, The Curse, or Nori.
Ooh, that's a good one.
This is
Mm-hmm.
good. I
Good
like
one.
the sound of that. I love the sound of that.
Spooky. It's a good ghost story.
And it looks like it's an Asian film, which Asian horror, it knocks our stuff out of the water. Like, it's actually creepy. It's
Yeah.
actually creepy, like the ghost story, any of them, but especially that paranormal stuff. And when they add the kids, I know a lot of people don't like that. I love it because for me, the creepiest thing you could do in the movies is the little kids and the really old people. Because like if they're just standing there in the closet or something weird, it's because you know I think what it is because they're so innocent in both ages or whatever you want to call it, both lives,
Mm-hmm.
that you're like, oh shit. But if it's someone like around our age, the first thing you're gonna do is punch him in the face.
It's true. It's true.
And that's why I feel like it's creepy. It's like, oh my goodness. And then you find out that this kid's eyes are glowing red and floating and shit, and it's fuck. Like, damn.
You're not gonna fix it. It's just it's there now.
Yeah, yo, get out. I'm scared of you now. Shit. You could have candy now. Shit. Here.
Those are two good picks. And so those are Tuesday and Thursday.
Yeah.
Those are good picks, man. I can't wait to see what you think of those. Can't wait to listen to those episodes.
If you're free, either one of those. I know you have your show on Tuesday, so if you're free on Thursday,
I will do my best.
you're more than welcome. I know you're a busy man. And I also know you want to keep your family happy, so family time is very, very, very important.
It is.
And you want to breathe because I seen the way your wife looks at you. She loves you, but
She might kill me. Actually, although she's a little annoyed with me this week because I didn't tell her I was taking the week off, and she's like, "Why would you take the week off?" I'm like, "Because I'm tired."
I want to spend time. You should have said because I want to spend time with you. Then waited for her answer.
She didn't care. She was like, "I'm busy. Leave me alone."
Go lay down. I know how it is.
I love it.
That's why they let us have these podcasts. Like, okay, when our grown children go play for an hour or two, we can finally get some peace and quiet. The kids are settled,
Get outta here.
playing video games. These fools are settled, and by the time they come down, we'll be asleep.
Beat it. Get out of here.
And they're gonna be quiet when they come in the room because they're scared of us. So that's just how it is.
I love it.
I'm amazed anyone's talking about Curse after all these years.
Dude, almost 20 years since that movie came out.
Yeah, and I mean, it's what we do though, man. I have a horror wheel on here and throw just random movies on there, and I also take requests. This was actually a request by my homie Ibrahim,
Nice.
which I gotta put his little shout out there. And I just, boom, give me a request, we review it. I'm gonna shout you guys out. I'm actually gonna I want to build a request wheel for people who watch Horror with Sir Sturdy. You guys my email's in the description. Email me one movie that you guys want us to review. If we haven't previously reviewed it, if it's not on any other wheel, it'll go on that request wheel along with your name. And if you're a content creator, let me know what your YouTube channel is. Let me know what your TikTok, your name it, and I'll tell people to at you at that, and it'll be going across the bottom for the whole episode. I just forgot to do this earlier, but Ibrahim doesn't have any social media shit, so he don't care. But I just want to do that because I'm like, it's a cool way to kind of help each other grow. It's like, oh shit, I'm gonna get a shout out. And come tune in. They're gonna review the movie. Which here's another thing too is the movie that you guys request us to review. You also watch it. Come on and review it with us. Why the hell not?
You guys are good for that.
I have fun with that, and I actually love it so much because you don't know 100% how someone's gonna feel that you review with a lot. But you kind of have an idea of where they're going to be leaning towards, to a sense. There is some surprises, don't get me wrong, versus someone else that's never been on the show before, that you've never had a conversation with, that watched this movie and maybe they love this movie for whatever reason. And sometimes it fluctuates my ratings. I'm not going to lie, because they open my eyes up to something else that I haven't really paid attention to in the film.
No.
And then when you have that discussion, you're just like, oh my gosh, you're absolutely right. That makes so much sense. Wow.
Yeah,
Actually, it's going to be a little better. But then there's sometimes you're just like, yeah, that didn't help. That actually made it worse. But, it is. But still, though, to have those I love having those conversations, good, bad, however you feel, because you're getting someone's honest opinion about these films. And nobody's wrong. Like, as much as we like to say, because it's your favorite film, oh, you're absolutely wrong, blah, blah, blah. Nobody's wrong about how they feel about that film at all. Except Blood Lake. If you love that movie, you're wrong. Anything else? I mean, I'll figure something out.
Greatest boat ride in history on film.
The only thing that could have made that movie worse or pissed me off more was putting Nicolas Cage in it. I would have flipped out.
Dude, you and I
I know.
never agree on Nicolas Cage.
You and I, you and my wife, you and me, or you and I, me and my wife, me and James.
One of the greatest living actors today.
You know what it is with the Popcorn and Pints guys, though, is they like to pick his movies because they know how I feel about him, which I respect that because I try to do the same for them. It's makes for good content. It's fun. And it makes for honesty, too, because, like, I really cannot stand him. Like, seeing him literally just makes me just like, oh my God. And I don't know why. Like, it's not like a personal beef. Like, if I see him, I'm going to fight him because he hasn't done anything to me. But it pisses me off when I see him on TV.
I love Nicolas Cage, man.
And a lot of people.
He's the only actor today where when I see him on screen, I know for a fact I'm getting a different performance in every movie.
I know for a fact I'm going to be pissed if I have to watch it. And that's usually when I have to review it. And now he's doing like more horror stuff, which is just, it's like he's out to get me. That's my theory on this. He knows how I feel about him. I think it's mutual, and I'm fine with that. And what he's doing is he's like, all right, I know he has asshole friends that are gonna make him review these movies anyway.
No,
so he has to talk about him. That's what's going on.
So if he came on the show and asked to review movies with you, right? You wouldn't do it?
I honestly don't know. Like, I really don't like him. And he could probably be the nicest person in the world. It's just, I don't know. But, and like, I know people would say if you did this review with him, like, the views would probably be astronomical and all that. But it's just I don't know.
I need a list of every Nicolas Cage movie you haven't seen.
Oh my gosh. I'm not going to make that list.
No, not to make you watch them, but I want to see the list of the ones you haven't seen. And I want to say to you, I want to at least like go over it and be like, at least check out this one or two. Like, I guarantee if you check out this one or two, it might change your tune. You know what I mean?
I understand where you're getting with me. I'm gonna be honest. The only way I'm gonna watch his movies is if I have to review them. I'm
gonna ask you to review.
See, like for example, the massive talent that so many people liked. So I'm sitting on the couch watching it with my wife, and she's looked like, and this is no bullshit because there's no cameras, no social media stuff, right? And she's looking over at me. She was like, "You look so pissed off right now."
Because it's Nicolas Cage playing Nicolas Cage,
and she's
with another Nicolas Cage showing up who's more obnoxious.
And she's just laughing because she loves Nicolas Cage. Loves, like, she does admit, like, his newer stuff she's not really into, but his older stuff she loves, and she liked that movie, of course. And she's just looking at me, laughing and all this other shit. She was like, "Oh man, this is so great." I'm like, "How is this great?" No, it's not. No, it's not. But
I love it.
It's what I do like about it. I honestly love that my friends do pay attention to that and call it out and make me watch it. Not that I have to. The review part is the fun part for anything, but still, though, like some people are like, "Oh, it's messed up. No, it's for good. It's for fun. It's good. It's not disrespecting me. It's not anything crazy like that, or else I wouldn't watch it. But it's fun, and it's even more fun when you get to do it back.
Yeah,
it's even more fun when you get to do it back. And yeah, Chris, I'm coming for you. Just so you know, James, you too. James is tough. Because there's only one Blood Lake. That's the only movie he got so mad about twice.
Chris was pissed, dude.
Oh,
what's the other one he got really mad about?
Chris, he got even more pissed off for Weed Wolf.
Yeah, that's the one.
He was
so mad, dude.
Kelvin was too. But Chris, I think Chris even started yelling in Spanish. I was dying either way. That shit was hilarious. Oh my gosh.
Dude,
there's nothing more fun than when people go on rants like that to me. I just love. It's so honest. Like, because I do feel deep down with our favorite movies, we're not 100% honest with them because of our love for them, and I'm fine with that. Listen, if I love you, I'll lie for you, and that's how I feel about certain movies. If I love you, I'll lie for you.
Rihanna would love you.
Listen, I'm a happy fan, and I would lie for my wife if I had to. I know you would lie for your wife if you had to.
Nah.
Who did this? She did it.
She'll respect me more in the morning.
Rick's gonna start coming out. See some of the sunglasses on. Everywhere you see Rick, sunglasses.
I fell down the stairs.
It's bright in here. Rick, the lights are off.
Every time I'm on the show now, it's just going to be like a darkness over my face and a warped voice.
Mm-hmm.
When I was talking to her in the kitchen.
See the door open. What'd you say?
Nothing. I didn't say anything. Oh my God.
Sturdy, I'm gonna rewatch the tape. Listen, he did. I promise he didn't say anything crazy. I promise he never does.
I took my super gummy. That's why I don't even know why I'm standing right now.
Wait a minute.
I got back from the bathroom, and instead of sitting down, I raised everything up.
You know why? Here's why. Because going back to Curse, you wanted to be tall like a werewolf. I mean, you're tall already, but you want to be big like a werewolf because you know how they grow up. You know how they get big once they do the transformation. Not like me. I'm 5'8" now. If I was a werewolf, I'd probably be like 6'5". They give you a few. They grow some, and then you get.
Have you ever seen Dog Soldiers?
Yes, I believe I reviewed that. I don't remember when.
Oh yeah, I think you did. I think I listened to an episode.
But James said we did because somebody just asked us this like last Tuesday, I believe. I told him no, and James was like, "Yeah, you did. We reviewed it." I was like, "Oh."
It's like one of the best werewolf movies of all time.
I'll have to go back and was that with the Nazi?
Yeah, there was there were English special forces, and they were in the English countryside, or the Scottish countryside, and they got locked in to a cottage overnight because they were being ambushed by werewolves.
I don't. I feel like I did, but again, I don't know. I'll have to look it up. I'll have to go back in the archives and look it up.
I think the thing that cracks me up about right now is like since I'm standing, every time I look down to go and look at you, I look like I'm looking at my penis. And it's just funny. I don't know why.
Because that shit's funny as hell. Like,
but I'm looking down at you.
By you, he's talking to his penis right now.
It's like that shot in the porn where it's just like, yeah, babe, thanks. Yeah, no, I appreciate it. Thanks, Sturdy.
Don't put Sturdy in that. Not that.
Listen, I do what I can.
I'm so hard. That's fucking funny.
I am.
Oh man, that was funny as shit. Making them super gummies. That's good for you, man. That's great.
I got one in. I got a couple of them in North Carolina when I was there.
Nice. Like how was the con, by the way? I didn't get a chance to talk to you early since.
It was fun, man. I wish you were there. Like a lot of great people from the Snob Nation were there, man.
I'm telling you, I'm shooting. Literally, me and the wife were talking about it as this one was coming up, and we are just like, let's just save up to go next year.
Yeah, the missus wanted you to come because she wants to meet your wife. But lots of good people. Dan Mastershake came out. Mm-hmm. Chris was there. Chris Harris.
That's awesome.
Paul was there. Paul Dunn, Nat. Paul's wife was there. Like there was just a ton of great people came out. Like Steve was there. Like it was just a lot of fun to have. Like at one point, our whole Scene Snobs table was just surrounded by Snobs Nation.
That's awesome. That's amazing.
And I didn't realize how many more people were actually like fans that came over and were like, hey, you know, like they don't actually interact, but they knew everybody because they watched the shows and we interact.
And that's what I love about this here with the podcasting stuff and about those cons is when you go there and you meet some people there. You make some, I'll say even more than fans, you make some friendships at these cons. You make some friendships doing these. I mean, shit, this. It was basically through doing something. I don't even remember how we met. I think it was through Phil, but I don't remember.
I think it was through Phil. Phil was just like, you like horror movies? Talk to my friend Sturdy. And I was like, yeah,
something
I did.
Like that. And then boom. Yep, he did.
And now I'm looking down at Sturdy like, yeah.
That's so fucking funny.
You really want that A, Sturdy? Is that what you want?
No. That's why I dropped out. Like, what are you willing to do for this grade? Drop out? Peace? Freak? Jokes, people. That's a wild ass thing to say. Why'd you drop out?
I didn't say it.
I know, I'm talking about myself. It's a wild ass thing to say. Shit just...
Stop saying things like that. Then I do look down at you. Sturdy, look up real quick.
No. Oh, man. See, off the rails.
Dude, I'm sorry.
Which,
this why you can't have me on your show. I told you I should have waited.
No, this is what we need. Need to laugh. Laughter is a great medicine. I want the world to laugh all the fucking time. It'll solve a lot of problems. Laughter and masturbation, actually. You get that, you know what I mean. You get that stuff out, ladies and gentlemen, and you feel a hell of a lot better. You do that and you laugh. What's better? Tell me. Besides having maybe some fried chicken after or something like that. Whatever you want to eat. That's a perfect night. That's a perfect night.
That is, you're not
Pull
wrong.
up and watch a movie. You know, after you give your woman that 3 minutes of thunder, you roll over like a man and you go to sleep.
Not me. I'm just going to be looking down. Just like, miss my stirred. Miss my stirred at.
Are you standing up with sunglasses again?
Listen, sweetie, go to sleep. I need to call Sturdy for a sec. I need to ask him a question. I told you I should take it in after. It's your fault. If this isn't funny to anybody, I don't want any yelling at me later.
I'm going to tell you this. People that watch Horror with Sir Sturdy know what they're tuning in for. They've been tuning in for the past 5 years. They know how this show gets off the rails. That's why YouTube, listen, I got a message for you guys. Cut it out with the whole algorithm bullshit when people are cussing. We make these channels, right? Like my channel specifically is made that says not for kids. That's not for kids for a reason. So bump them algorithms up. When them channels are like that, I understand if they're for kids or just like in the middle. But if it says not for kids, it says that for a reason. It's like an R-rated movie.
I agree. It's not for kids either.
It can't be.
You know why?
Kids got enough cool shit. That's why it's not for kids.
You know why, Sturdy?
Why yours isn't for kids?
Look up. Just talk to each other like that. You're already in a seated position. It's the best part. Oh, wait, I'm sitting now, too.
Yes, you are. All you have to do is look ahead now.
Not 100% there.
Oh, man.
I'm like there because I'm like, yeah, this is going to be fun.
This is awesome.
But I'm like not all the way there.
So is Dog Soldiers, is that your favorite werewolf movie, Mick?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely one of them. I think it's one of the best, personally. A good go-to for me is The Wolfman.
Okay.
I love the original. I like the remake, too.
That's actually, I believe that's actually on the, what the hell do you call that shit? It's on one of the wheels. I can't think what the hell the title of the wheel is now. Son of a bitch. That's sorry. Oh, the legendary monster things. What the hell do you call them again? I'm too high.
Universal Monsters.
Thank you. That.
Those. I can't wait to see more of those. I really want to see more of those.
I'll let you know when those wheels pop up for sure. Because I want to see more of those because I was never introduced to those growing up. Like I honestly didn't start seeing those till my adult life, which was because of this podcast. Like within the last year, I watched Frankenstein. I watched a couple. Creature of the Black Lagoon so far is my favorite by far though. That beautiful. Yeah. That beautiful. That movie is so just. To me, it's perfect. I gave it a 10, I believe. That movie was awesome.
Well, let me ask you. Okay, so out of the classic Universal Monster movies, what have you seen versus what haven't you seen?
That's the thing. I would have to honestly see a list to tell you. That'd be my best, just because I don't know them that well to even.
If I spouted off some, I'm not gonna do all, but like if I spouted off some of them, would you be able to tell me?
Yes.
So, like, original Dracula.
Original Dracula, no.
Nice. When you do that, I'd really like to be a part of that.
Hell yeah.
Original Frankenstein.
Yes. That's actually one of the ones I did within the past year or so, I believe.
Oh, okay, cool. Oh, I think, I remember you doing that episode. Okay, cool. What about the Mummy?
The Mummy. Oh, fuck. That if I didn't do it, it's on the wheel.
You would remember if you saw that one.
Okay, then that's on the wheel because that one I don't remember.
The Invisible Man.
Yes, did that. Actually, we did that when we did like the remake of it or whatever. We did those two side by side.
The Wolfman. You seen the Wolfman?
That's on the wheel.
Sweet. Oh, that's right. We talked about that. Okay.
Yeah, that one's
The Bride of Frankenstein.
I think that I know I didn't see it, but I believe that's on the wheel.
Okay, that's a good one. That's one I think you really like.
I think Son of Frankenstein's on there too. What I did for that one is James put that one together and then just sent me the movies.
I do think that you should also watch. I think you should watch all the Universal Monsters. I'm going to send you a list.
Please do.
Because I really think if you went on a kick of the Universal Monsters, and the Hammer movies, that's gonna those will be some of your best episodes because those are movies that are so popular among horror fans, but also lost. Not enough people talk about them.
Yeah. I love stuff like that. I like, and that's why I love doing the cheesy movies, the B movies, because I know that there's a niche for that. And I'm a fan. I'm also a fan of those type of films, but I know that there's a niche for that, and I know that it could just be three people that want to hear somebody review that movie, and I'm 100% fine with that because those are the ones. Sometimes that's the most fun con conversations when you're talking about those you know what I mean, those indie films or those ones that not too many people know about, but then you go to a con and it's like the whole damn con knows about it. It feels.
Yeah.
Those conversations are so fun. Not that, excuse me. Not that the ones, say Friday the 13th. Not that those conversations aren't fun. The popular movies, but those other ones, because you're really, for lack of a better phrase, digging in the crates. And you're like, oh yeah, oh shit. He's seen this? She's seen this? Nice. Universal Monsters.
Yeah, but for me, you cover enough of the straight to video stuff now that even in the past 25 years that people may not have seen.
Mm-hmm.
And I like that. I like that you do that in such a way because there's a lot of stuff by listening to your show, I'm I've never heard of this, so it's cool. Go check it out. But I'd also, I can throw a rock and listen to 700 horror podcasts talk about Friday the 13th.
Mm-hmm.
I would love your take on stuff that nobody's talking about.
That honestly, that's what I try. Because here's what I go for when I make the wheel now. If I'm doing I'll give James a wheel to do. I'll do a wheel, and we both try to grab movies we've never seen before.
Mm-hmm.
We only if I've never seen it, I'll throw it on the wheel. If he's never seen it, I'll throw it on the wheel. And then if either one of us have seen it in between, we'll leave it as it is. But I try to go for that because I'm not saying if I haven't seen it, nobody's seen it, but there is a chance that a handful of people have not seen that whatever that horror movie is. But Mick, if you got I'll give you a whole wheel. If you got a list of some horror movies you think I should see that are old that don't get talked about enough, you got it.
That's a loaded question, sir. Because
well, a
lot of movies. I could make you a wheel of just Hammer. I just sent you a list, and I think to your Universal Monsters, because there's really not a ton of them. Overall, there's maybe about 40. I think you should add them all because that's a good list. All the ones that you haven't seen.
Yeah.
Add them all on there because Werewolf in London, a lot of people don't gravitate towards that. And they should because it's a very good werewolf movie.
And actually, werewolf and see people don't get confused with American Werewolf in London. He's talking about a different movie. Which that one we did. That was the other. We did that one and Frankenstein, like I said, and we did Creature from the Black Lagoon. Oh. And that was good.
The only thing I would add on there that's not an official Universal Monsters movie, but it was made by Universal and it has all the Universal Monsters in it. Is Monster Squad.
Monster Squad. I gotta go. I've seen that before, but I gotta go back and watch that again.
That'd be a fun one. And they did a good documentary about that called Wolfman's Got Nards too.
Nice. movies.
You know, that would be a really cool one for you to do too. There's some awesome horror documentaries.
I love that you said that because I've honestly been thinking about that for a while, like because there's so many cool horror documentaries which can bring on so many cool conversations. Even if you just, I know some of them are episodic. Even if you just pick just a certain episode, you don't have to do the whole show. Just pick a certain episode, maybe the most popular episode, maybe the least popular episode, whatever. Pick that and review it. But I was or the one-offs even. I was thinking about like the horror documentaries, like.
I would even say do that as a separate side, like Horror with Sir Sturdy, but where you, because the documentaries, the crazy thing about documentaries and horror is they're so long.
Yes.
The Crystal Lake Memories is 8 hours long. The Nightmare on Elm Street documentary is like 4 hours long.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like all like the In the Search of Darkness documentaries, there's 3 of them now, and they're all like 4 hours long. So like you could do multiple episodes, like okay, In the Search of Darkness part 1.
You're right.
This is going to be 2 or 3 episodes because there's so much to cover about the doc. Or then like Crystal Lake Memories, this is an 8-hour documentary, so it's going to be, you know, 3 or 4 episodes or whatever, however long you cover it. And then you can take your time, but I would almost do those as special Patreons get first dibs on that.
I like that. That's,
you know,
see, we got
like what we do with Warp Factor Fiction on our channel. Like you could do those and then like add, but like also I would take your special requests and I'd put them on the Patreon.
That's another great idea. See, this guy's a genius.
And like, because again, do the movies that nobody's talking about. That's what's going to lure people in. You know, like, oh man, what does Sturdy think of the Hammer movies? What does Sturdy think of the Universal Monsters? What does Sturdy think of Giallo movies?
And that's another thing too, man, that I like, that there's a lot of movies. So my wife will say it to me too, which is cool. Like, I can't believe you haven't seen this type of deal. I love when I see those movies for the first time now. And the reason why I say that is because, like, for example, Blair Witch, the first time I seen that was like, if not a year ago, 2 years ago tops. And I'm glad I seen it in my adult life because I know the whole craze and the popularity of it back in the day, but I wouldn't have paid as much attention to it. I would have probably got bored with it back then versus now. When I sat down, I loved that freaking movie. And I just love the simplicity of it. I loved how with the camera, because I put myself in their shoes. Like, I remember being a kid where we would record damn near everything. We had a little video camera to record us when we're wrestling, when we're playing video games. We would record it and then go back and watch this shit. So it was almost like, in a way, it was like I was eventually going to be doing this in front of more people, just me and my friends and siblings. And if we would have had this about back then, woo! I wish, man. I wish. To an extent, though, because at the same time, I do love that we were outside kids a lot, and that's important. But still, to a small extent, because I also know at the same time, my parents would be like, listen, you could use your computer later on when the sun comes out is when you dumbasses can come back inside. Go outside. You ain't tearing up my house. But we're just going to go. Okay. I'm thirsty. I'm thirsty. You can either turn on the hose or get the iced tea off the back porch.
Yeah. Oh my God, dude. Man, you're giving me like.
Yes. And what I love about that though, man, is it's not even a race thing. This is just like an era thing. Like, this was everywhere. Like, you mess up as a kid, 14 blocks away. My mother's name is Ellen. Yeah, Ellen. Yeah, Aaron's over here fucking up again. Oh, he's gonna think shit's sweet when he gets home.
They always knew. You didn't get away with it. The neighborhood knew.
You never knew who told.
Oh my God, dude.
But like looking back at it as an adult, you're like, I really appreciate that because these people, like, you know, it takes a village. It really, like, there was really a village looking like, hey, listen, yeah, your kid's actually.
Oh yeah.
No. Yeah, I seen what happened. He didn't do anything. He was telling you the truth. Blah blah blah. Yeah, he's good. Like, you'll get that phone call before you get home too. Those ones that you get home, your mother's like, so what happened? And you're like, nothing. And you get beat. You get in trouble because you said nothing. It's like, well, so and so told me what happened, and she told me that you didn't do anything, but since you lied, like, oh shit, again.
dude.
But seriously, I miss those times because people really looked out for each other. Then is what I'm getting at with that. Like,
Oh yeah.
without even knowing it, people were just looking out for you and really looking out for children. Like, really making sure the kids, which was us, the youth, was safe and not doing. You know what I mean? We'll do dumb shit. Some of your parents let you do dumb shit, but it was like if it gets too dumb or it gets too dangerous, yeah. Like if he's doing jumping off of bike ramps and all that, if he falls off, he'll learn his lesson. But if he's trying to jump out of a tree, I should probably tell him not to, and I should probably tell his mother what he's doing.
Right?
I get it.
There's sometimes, and like, you know, sometimes like information got messed up. Yeah, of course, it happens.
Of course.
But yeah, like for the most part, like you were never gonna find out who told because they wanted to make sure like you didn't avoid that person.
Exactly. And it was always the same group of people. It was always the same. Yeah, this so and so did this. And depending on how, I don't know how it was for you, but for like my mother and stuff, depending on how close she was with that person, pop him in the back of his head if he's acting up like that.
Oh yeah.
And you're not gonna go home those days. You here's the thing, you're not gonna go home and tell your parents you got smacked because you're just gonna get smacked again. It's like I might as well just deal with this.
Oh my god.
Because my mother would be like, okay, well, usually it was my aunt, so it's her sister, so they know. First of all, they don't play. That's one. Well, they're older now. Now they're all soft with the grandkids and all that other stuff. They don't even yell.
Yeah, they're done with you now.
I'm like, what the? Now you have McDonald's money? What the heck? How do you have McDonald's money if you don't work anymore?
Never had it before. They didn't care.
Yeah. Oh, he's over here yelling, kicking, screaming. You're still bringing him to McDonald's? I tripped and said, ouch, and you sent me home. I'm exaggerating with that one, but you guys get what I mean.
No, but it's true.
McDonald's back in the day was a reward. Like, okay, you were good, you listened, blah blah blah, whatever the case may be, and of course they had the extra money.
Yeah.
Or we got McDonald's at home, which wasn't McDonald's at home. Spoiler alert.
No, it was never McDonald's.
Ever. But the thing is now, like, I'd rather have the home burger. I'm not going to McDonald's.
Oh God! And you tell your kids that, and they're just like, no. And I was like, I get you get the toy. I'd rather go and get you 2 toys from each kid for $2.
There you go.
Then buy you the whole freaking meal and go home and eat a good meal.
Exactly.
Can we just do that? Well, you know, we want the meal, we want the fries, we want that. And like, of course you do.
We can do this at home. This is one of the easiest things that a restaurant makes that you can bring home and recreate and actually make it a lot better. I'm not gonna say it about everything because there's some stuff at restaurants that when you go to the ones that cost more.
Yeah. Well, you get people who care.
Yeah.
Well, we live in a land of diners.
Oh, diners are so. Speaking of diners, I did get to when I went to Jersey 2 weeks ago. I did get to the Blairstown Diner. That was amazing. That was awesome. Which that's where this picture is from. Is the Friday the 13th tour, Camp Crystal Lake tours. That was the best trip I've ever taken in my life. That was so freaking fun.
I'm so glad you got to go, man. Like I was so enjoying the pictures. I never went on the official tour. My buddy Lenny went on it, and he had a ball. But I've been to the camp.
Okay.
Because it's it's just a real camp. Like when they're not doing those tours, like you can go camping. Like usually the Boy Scouts go and stuff like that. And I was years and years, like we're going back almost 20 years ago. I was a camp counselor. For the night, under the Knights of Columbus, their Squires thing. So we would go out on these camping trips, and like our cabin was right down the road from where they shot that.
That's awesome.
So I would take the kids down there and just show them like this is where they shot. This is the lake.
That's awesome. Yeah, that trip though, yo, like the wife surprised me with it. She was just like, "What the hell did you do?" She was like, she texted me. She was like, "Hey, would you want to go to the Camp Crystal Lake tours one day?" And I was like, "Yeah." And then she just got the tickets right there. And then she told me why she got the tickets right there. She was like, "I just got them then." She was like, "Because I know how you are. You're going to think of, like, what do we have to take care of first, and this, and that, and the third, and then we're going to end up not going because we wanted to," which that's how I am. I can't help myself. So I'm glad she did it that way, and I'm glad I went because that was an amazing trip. And if you're a Friday the 13th fan, for sure, save the money because I know money's tight. It's $150 per person, but course, if you have to travel, if you have to hotel stay, all that good stuff. So it's honestly worth saving money for, and bringing enough to even go there for spending money at the gift shop there. Which a cool thing about the gift shop, I don't know if it was just for the weekend that we were there, if it's like all the time thing, but they were giving 13% discounts with cash, right? And their ATM, you take money at the ATM, no fee. Here's the dope thing though: when you get a ticket, when you get it says Camp Crystal Lake on the receipt. So I saved that receipt. The first I took money out, forgot to grab the receipt, forgot to ask for a receipt. So I literally went back to the ATM to take $20 out just to get the damn receipt. I was like, I have to freaking get this damn receipt.
That's legit. Yeah,
that's dope. That's dope, and it's just the little things with stuff like that, because that's gonna be something where it's like, yo, that's one of those things where someone's looking at your collection and you go, why the hell do you have this? Yo, look what it says there. Camp Crystal Lake. That's
awesome.
How many people can say that? Another cool thing about that trip too was, so in our group, like before they split us all up, there was a couple from Germany at that stuff. Like that is awesome. Like film attractions and stuff that are going to drag you to, that are going to bring people from across the world. I don't know where Germany is from here. I'm not into all that map shit. I don't know, but it's far. I know that.
What?
Yes, from Germany.
No, I know, but like,
oh,
it was just funny how you said I'm not into all that
map shit. I'm just being honest. There's people that they'll say like that same line, but then they'll tell you how far Germany is from here and all this other crazy facts.
Oh, you're right.
I have none of them. I have none. Don't ask. But and then on a tour before ours, they were telling us that there was a couple from Europe, the UK, and Australia, and I was like, that's awesome.
That's cool.
Awesome. Like that people try, because it just shows you how huge horror really is. As underrated as it is overall, and as disrespected as it is overall, I feel that shows you right there. People love this freaking genre, and this is a movie, 1980s, Friday the 13th. Is it the best horror movie in the world? Not even close. Do I love it? Of course I do. Of course, I love the whole franchise. My favorite franchise, but it's my God, that experience too. That experience, people. I want to go back to this one last time, right? I really can't put it into words very well. It's the best thing I can say is go try it. Go check it out. Go check it out. Breathe in the air. Enjoy the atmosphere, and don't be shy. Like we had a fun group where everybody was kind of talking, joking, laughing, all that other fun stuff. Be like that when you go to these. Be open. Be bounced, having fun, because that's what it's all about with these things.
Yeah.
And it's. I want to go again. Like I want to go again. I was actually telling the wife. I was like, I'm gonna text Matt and Henry right now, and we're gonna plan a trip. I don't care if it's 2 years from now, 3 years from now, but it's something I'm gonna go to again with my wife, and then of course with like friends and their spouses or whoever wants to go, and it'd be fun to like meet up and go and do stuff like that.
Did they show the movie that night on the camp?
No, but June 2nd, this past weekend, they had people from the first one there, and then they were doing like a whole, if you paid for the overnight thing, which was like $800 per person.
Yeah, that's because I remember they did that.
They were showing the movie.
They started showing the movie afterwards, because like when my buddy did it, he did the overnight thing, but they didn't show the movie yet.
Okay.
So like, and then I think it was like the next year when they were doing it, they started showing the movie, and he was like bummed because he's like, like that's the one thing I would have loved to have done. But they have one in Georgia where they shot the 6th one.
Ooh.
And it's interactive. You can go stay for the weekend. They show the movie there, and like they do like a Jason's hunting you down sort of play.
I am gonna need that information because
I gotta find it. I will find it for you though.
No, because it's funny you mentioned this, because after this, like me and the wife were talking about it. I was even talking about it with James too. Like we want to start going to these type of tours, these type of and like the haunted ones. Like she showed me well, the Lizzie Borden thing, that was today, but The Conjuring, the original house, the real house.
Yeah.
And they have it's in, what is it, Rhode Island, I believe. But anyways, they have a tour there, or you can tour the house. I believe you could tour the outside too. I think there's another separate tour for that. But they also have an overnight thing. So the overnight thing, there's one where you can, I think they supply, I believe they supply the tents. I could be wrong, but I believe they supply the tents and some other things. And you could camp there overnight and you could go on the grounds overnight. Dope, right? Yes. I'm not about the tents. And I want to be in the house. The house, they have something for the house as well. It's up to 6 people. And I think it's like $960 or something like that. So like $1.60 a pop.
Yeah.
That would be a fun freaking thing to do. That would be a fun thing to like. That's something I want to do. It's something I want to plan out. And again, the wife, she'll go for the like because they have like a day tour. She'll do like the day tour for their house. She would do that, but the overnight, she was like, "I'll drop you guys off, and then I'll go back." So, what I was thinking is like, if you get enough people to go or whatever, get a hotel room for that whole weekend. Of course, whoever doesn't want to go, nobody's forced to go. Say if you're going with couples and all that, whatever, they go back to the rooms, hang out. Everybody else goes and does these crazy adventures, these crazy haunting adventures. Like I want to even, we're even talking, me and James were talking about like getting the stuff. I don't know anything about it, but the ghost hunting stuff, and just really just having some fun with it, seeing what happens, being polite, of course, not being all crazy because I'm not doing that. And it's something it's something that like the film thing really made me think of it. I'm just like, I want to go on more of these movie sets because I grew up watching these movies. Like I've been watching these type of movies since I was 5 years old. I never in my life thought I'd be able to be where I was in that picture. And my wife, she did Jurassic Park a couple years back when she went to go visit her daughter out in her daughter out, my stepdaughter, her daughter out in Hawaii, my stepdaughter out in Hawaii. Is what I was trying to say. And they did the Jurassic Park tour, which is dope.
Nice.
And
That'd be awesome.
yeah, that's a movie that she like. How I love Friday the 13th, she loves that. Probably, maybe even I don't know about more, but
When I lived in LA, that was a big thing. Like when I lived in New York, I was like it kind of became such a thing.
mm-hmm.
Like I was such a big movie fan. Like I would always go visit places, and then so for me, but it was so easy in New York because everything's all together. So like if I'm walking around Manhattan, I'm gonna run into places that happen in the Warriors, like Union
Mm-hmm.
Station, stuff like that. When I lived out in LA, I would search out places. Like I went all over the place for Back to the Future. Like I went to Doc's house.
Nice.
I ate at the Burger King that he passes by in the beginning.
That's awesome.
Stuff like that. I went to Marty's house. Like it was. There's this old Laurel and Hardy short film. It's still, in my opinion, one of the funniest films I've ever seen. It's called The Music Box. It's a very simple premise. It's a lot of stairs, and they have to carry a piano up it. What could go wrong?
A lot.
It's right. And it's still like every time I see it, I crack up. I went and visited the staircase, like stuff like that. So like little stuff like that. Yeah, that I love that. And I love that vibe. So I definitely get where you're coming from.
And it's something you're never going to forget. You know what I mean? Like it's something you're going to remember, like the whole, you might not remember obviously step for step, but you're going to remember all the big things that stood out. You're going to remember like, oh my goodness. And then I'll even say, I'm sure if I when I go a second time, there's going to be a lot of stuff. I'm going to, oh yeah, I remember. Yeah. Okay. I remember walking around through here now. Cause it's one thing like seeing it in the movie. And another thing, what we did was we drove out there that Friday. The tour was Saturday, so we watched the movie that Friday night, and then after we got home, after we got back, we went to Blairstown, we ate there, then we went back to the room, of course, showered, ate some more, and watched that movie again. We're just pointing out stuff like, oh my God, we were there, we were just in there. I can't believe that this wasn't really here. It was just boom, 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 the prop set and all that other stuff. I don't want to say too much because I don't want to spoil it for you guys that haven't went. I already talked about it on another episode if you guys want to go back, or another YouTube thing if you guys want to go back and watch that, but I don't want to spoil too much what happened there because again, if you do plan on going, I'd love for you to experience that and seeing a lot of that stuff for the first time. And again, bring some money to spend at the gift shop. I'm not just saying yes, of course, to support it. That's a great thing, but just as a fan like myself, and if you're going there, I'm assuming you're a fan, you're gonna want stuff. You're gonna want to spend money, and if you have a significant other, they're gonna want stuff. They're gonna want to spend money. So both of you should bring money and spend some money and have a great time, because it's phenomenal. It's worth it. If you guys can go to these type of things, I think it's, and you're a fan of this type of stuff, do it. Do it. Don't waste time. I understand financials. That I understand 1,000%. Save money, but other than that, don't make excuses. You can find a babysitter or you can bring the kids if they're old enough. But again, those friends, those family members, hey, I'll watch your kids anytime. Well, this is the time I need you to watch them because they're under 13 and I want to go to this thing. We've been playing it for a few years now. Here you go. Do it, people. Trust me. I'm going to end it on that, though. I'm going to end it on a high note. And again, Cursed, watch it if you like. Make sure you guys go check out the Scene Snobs. Link is in the description. Go to HorrorWithSir.com to get all of my content, all of my information. I'll see you in your nightmares, people. Peace. Be kind to each other.